Hello and welcome to another edition of the Screen Picks Movie Podcast. I'm your host, Kit Bowen. Got a great show for you today. Our holiday, almost end of year reviews that we're going to be covering a few films that have come out, including some that are coming out this weekend. We're going to just jump right in. Oh, of course, let me introduce how could I forget? My all-time greatest friend of all, Joel Amos of the Movie Mensch. Joel, how are you doing today?
I'm quite well, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we are going to jump right on into it and we're going to review Avatar, The Way of Water, which came out last weekend. It made a healthy amount of money. We'll talk briefly about that after I give the review about the expectations and whatnot of this film. Let me read the description here. Jake Sully lives with his newfound family formed on the extrasolar moon Pandora. Once a familiar threat returns to finish what was previously started, Jake must work with Neytiri and an army of the Na'vi race to protect their home. Once again, written and directed by James Cameron, and returning stars are Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang, and newcomers Kate Winslet and Cliff Curtis are also some of the new people. Oh, and Edie Falco as well. That's right. When she showed up, I went, "Oh, Edie Falco." Oh, Jermaine Clement, also newbie to this sequel. Of course, much hullabaloo has been made about the sequels and the following sequels if they come after this. We've had many discussions about this, Joel, you and I, and basically have said that while the first Avatar, was a groundbreaking film visually, all the things that James Cameron is so known for, his filmmaking techniques, and he took it above and beyond, and it truly was a spectacle to watch. However, we've all decided, well, between the two of us at least, that the story of Avatar was sorely lacking and in fact almost cringeworthy to the degree that I didn't like the movie that much at all because yes, while it was pretty to watch, I was you know just so disappointed with the story. I mean, it was derivative, it was Pocahontas, it was whatever it is, and the dialogue was atrocious. Well, here we are, however many years later. How many years has it been? 5, 6, 10? What is it?
13.
13. Wow. So 13 years later, it's taken James Cameron all this time to make these sequels. He's vowed these will be the greatest sequels of all time, blah, 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 blah. I can say that I liked the story maybe a little bit better in The Way of Water. Certainly the visuals were just as amazing. They like it says in the description, Jake and his family now, he's got 4 kids, including I don't want to give too much away, but there's some kind of a thing that happened with Sigourney Weaver's character. Anyway, so there's something with that as well. That's why Sigourney Weaver's kind of in it. But they've been fighting the rebels who have now come back, and it's led by, again, kind of a sort of weird twist to the Stephen Lang character from the first one. And they're being hunted, or they're being persecuted, and they're trying to find them, so they're putting everyone around them in danger because they're coming after them, so they decide to leave the forest and go to a new part of Pandora where everyone lives in the water. And yeah, I mean, it was unbelievably to watch. I mean, you can't get over the visuals, but the story, like I said, maybe a little bit better, but definitely not an improvement overall. Still kind of eye rolling. You've got sort of whaling situations. So you've got, animals that are kind of like whales, and it was just a lot of extra story that just didn't need to be there. The climactic fight scenes were kind of like the ones from the before. So my feeling is, while James Cameron thinks he's created some kind of masterpiece saga, it didn't have the wow factor, right? Because we already saw Avatar. We already know the wow factor, and for when it came out for its time, it was pretty wowing. And now we're like, okay, yeah, we've seen this before. Well, we understand that you can do this and we can see how beautiful it is. But what are you doing with the story? James Cameron doesn't care about the story. He doesn't care about it at all. All he wants to do is, show how great he is at making these gorgeous movies. So I just feel like it's a been there, done that. I know a lot of a lot of people are loving it, and loved the first one, but yeah, I mean, it was just so to me. I mean, what have you been hearing?
Um, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't been paying much attention because it never appealed to me. It was never something that I had any desire to see. I mean, I know that about James Cameron and the
Yeah,
story, and I don't know how we're going to have three more sequels
two, I think. Yeah,
that are supposedly already shot.
right.
Um, I also think it speaks volumes that Edie Falco was asked about it, and she's like, "Oh, that thing flopped." And they're like, "What are you talking about? It's out right now." And she's like, "Oh, it is." Well, she's like, "Oh, well, I shot my part 4 years ago, and I just figured since I hadn't heard anything, it just came out and flopped."
Are you kidding? She
So
didn't even realize?
no,
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean,
so
it's just and now let's talk about the box office. You know, everyone was because the first film, even though, I didn't think it deserved it, but it absolutely made a crap ton of money. Won Best Picture. I mean, didn't it? It won Best. No, no, it
mm,
did. Did it?
I
No,
don't think so.
Titanic won Best Picture, right?
Right.
Okay. Um. Anyway, made a lot of money, huge amounts of money. Hence the reason why he was given the green light to go ahead and make three sequels. Um. And now, everyone's thinking, oh, it's going to make this much money again, and it's just not. And I think it's because people aren't. It's been 13 years. We've seen some pretty spectacular filmmaking, since that time, since some of the things that Cameron sort of introduced in the first Avatar has been now, carried on. And so it's just not the spectacle that they all wanted again. So, I mean, what do you think? Uh, I mean, in your opinion, what do you think its chances are that those other sequels are going to come out? Since the movie did make a lot of money, but they were banking on China for it to be huge, and nobody in China just wants to see it because they're all getting sick with COVID now that the restrictions have been laxed. I mean, I don't know. What are your feelings about the future of it?
I think Disney and Fox has, I think the ship has sailed. I
Yeah,
don't think I think they have to. I mean,
yeah,
Cameron says they're shot. It's just the stuff he has to do, takes a couple of years to put together. So I think they're coming out whether people want it or not.
right. Yeah,
But we'll see. I mean, Avatar, he runs his own ship. It's not like Divergent, where,
right,
the last one was relegated to being a TV series.
right.
This is Avatar. I
Yeah,
don't see them minimizing it at all. They're committed. They've shelled out the money.
yeah,
They'll see it through whether we want them to or not.
yeah. Well, we'll see. Yeah, like I said, it is, like I said, the story was slightly better. It did not need to be three and whatever hours long, of course, but how do you cut a movie like this, I suppose? And he is James Cameron, he can do what he wants. But yeah, I'll hold my opinion to see what happens next. But as far as this film was concerned, I'd give it a solid 3 stars, for its beauty and its tech and its technical expertise and just everything that looks so real and whatnot, but definitely not. I don't think it's worthy of any more than this. If it had ended here, I'd have been just as happy. So we'll see. Okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about Babylon, which is actually coming out this weekend. It is the latest from Damien Chazelle, who gave us La La Land. and Whiplash. It's kind of another look at Hollywood, early Hollywood, actually. Let me read the description here. A tale of outsized ambition and outrageous excess. It traces the rise and fall of multiple characters during an era of unbridled decadence and depravity in early Hollywood. It has a great cast. Stars Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, um, Jean Smart, Olivia Wilde. Oh, Olivia Wilde's only there for about 2 seconds. And a newcomer who I hadn't seen before, Diego Calva, who plays Manny. But just a whole cast of characters in this. And we both got a chance to see this. So I'll let you start us off. What did you think of Babylon?
Um, I really really loved it. I really really like Damien Chazelle, but I do think he can be hit and miss, like
Mhm.
First Man. But I think
Mhm.
First Man suffered from the biopic problem. It
Right.
wasn't necessarily a Damien issue, but Whiplash, La La Land, the guy can. You talk about telling stories. I mean, this is
Yes.
a writer director that actually knows how to tell a story, and this one also is over 3 hours. But and I am and have become an old man and don't like to sit for 3 hours, but I sat through the whole thing. Like, now that's how you tackle a 3 hour movie.
Yes.
Um, I was in it the whole time. I mean, I never took a break. Um, and I thought I'd see it in two parts, but I didn't because I was just in there and I had to know where this was going. Um, so yeah, I was kind of impressed,
Yeah. I
and
was too.
I think it's in the running for some Oscars for sure.
Yeah, it really got kind of a mixed bag reviews from our colleagues. Some people really enjoyed it, other people didn't like it at all. Thought it was way too, scatterbrained and muddled, but I didn't feel that at all. Like you, I was in it from the beginning and pretty much watched the whole way through. Didn't stop, didn't pause it to go get something to eat or anything like that. I watched it, and it really does give you kind of an overview of what early Hollywood was like, when silents were king, and then how it transferred to talkies, and how the people who were silent stars, how they dealt with that. I thought Margot Robbie was tremendous in this. She's just an actress I love to watch, and she turned in one of her best performances. Brad Pitt was also quite good. Kind of still playing Brad Pitt, but that's okay. He's still good, and I really like the new guy, Diego Calva. He played a Mexican immigrant who loved the movies and somehow got himself into it. Just that whole opening scene with the elephant, and just showing the decadence of the early 20s, not only in Hollywood, of course, but all over the country. It was like that, but certainly Hollywood types, um, you know, took it to the max there. So what do you think? I guess Brad Pitt's character was kind of like a Douglas Fairbanks, right? Or who else? Let's
Yeah,
see.
I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but when he goes into a movie house and it's all on his face,
Yeah,
and he knows the writing's on the wall.
yeah.
That just breaks your heart.
It does
Just
break your heart.
breaks your heart.
And
And
then, of course, it's got the
and I
whole.
think
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that characterization encapsulates what hundreds of silent actors went through.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's got that singing in the rain uh vibe, except
Mhm.
for except for it's not a musical comedy. It's very serious
Right.
and sad and real.
Mhm.
I felt it very real, Um, but yeah, I do believe that it's going to get some nominations. Margot Robbie's on, sort of on the short list. She's not quite hitting the top five yet, but she's in there pretty solid, as is Brad Pitt. I'm not sure about the movie because again, it was a mixed bag for a lot of people. Um, but I would say 4 stars for me. How about you?
Yeah, I think 4 stars, maybe even 4.5.
Yeah,
Um, and I think we got to toss in the, the Academy loves movies about movies,
Yes.
and this is an Oscar winning creator. Um, I think, I mean, it may even be just kind of a thing where it strangely gets Best Picture and maybe Best Actress, but that's it.
Yeah, I don't
Who
know if it's
knows?
gonna get nominated for Best Picture. I guess it probably will. You're right, because it's got all the elements that
I
everyone
just,
loves.
but I don't see it getting screenplay
No.
or director. I think there are too many other directors in the run in the
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt just won. I don't know necessarily see him getting nominated even. Um, so yeah, it may be one of those weird kind of things where it gets a Best Picture and maybe Best Actress, and then that's just it.
Yeah. Well,
Although
he
the
did
editing
get
was pretty
robbed.
impressive.
Damien Chazelle did get
Yeah, well,
robbed with La La Land.
he did.
Yeah, it's only got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, so like I said, not a lot of faith in it from our ilk, but whatever. Um, okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about The Whale, which we both got a chance to see as well. It is Darren Aronofsky. I think he wrote it too, right? Oh no, he just
Yeah.
directed. He didn't
No,
write it.
it was based on a play.
Based on a play. Yeah, it had a very. I thought that. Like, wow, this seems much like a play. Um, it it's a story about a reclusive English teacher who teaches online, who attempts to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter. That is the very bare bones synopsis. But the reclusive English teacher is over 600 pounds, and he's played with unbelievable brilliance by Brendan Fraser, who I can't see anybody beating.
Nope,
I mean, I can't see him
just give
losing.
it to him.
Just give it to him. Sadie Sink plays the daughter. We also have Ty Simpkins from, I didn't realize, an older. He's grossed up from the first Jurassic World. Also Hong Chow, who I thought was amazing. Samantha Morton. Just it's a very small cast, but go ahead. Go ahead, Joel. I know how you felt
This
about
is
this movie.
this movie will just is one of these movies that are going to stick with you for a very, very, very long time. And I'm very hit and miss with Darren Aronofsky,
Mhm.
but his tone on this was impeccable. It was just perfect. Um, and it's almost like he got out of the way. I mean,
Yeah,
because every Darren Aronofsky movie feels like a Darren Aronofsky movie. This did not. And it's strangely maybe his greatest work. um, so he just got out of the way of the story. And the story is enough to just talk about breaking your heart. I mean, it just really does break your heart. But like at the same time, it leaves you with the most gloriously uplifting sensation about life and choices we make along the way, who we are as a person, and the legacy we leave behind, and um, connecting with family, and how different people handle trauma differently, and how this person should not be judged just but be just like anyone else who responds to a trauma in a certain way, or they turn to alcohol or whatever.
hmm
Um, so yeah, I think this is one of the best movies of the year, question. And Brendan Fraser is just a gift, and everyone is so happy for him
I know
because of, he's like one of the nicest guys.
he
Kind of
is.
got the shaft in Hollywood for a few years there, and just this is going to put him right back on the map.
Oh yeah. Well, Darren Aronofsky makes movies though that are hard to watch. You know, some of his movies.
Mhm.
Requiem of a Dream is just as hard to watch. About drug use and that kind of thing as this was about watching someone who's so obese that he can't function. He can't and doesn't care about getting better kind of thing. And I just my God, it was just heart wrenching because he is such the character is such a beautiful human being at his core. He had some trauma or some tragic things happen to him in his life, and which kind of set him on the course to what he becomes at the end, but he still finds the hope and the love, that he has for his family and for people in general and his friends. And but at the same time, he's basically saying, yeah, this is what's going to happen. I'm done with, I'm done basically. And I'm okay with that. And it's just, oh my God, I just couldn't, it was so hard to watch. I mean,
I and I hope this doesn't give anything away, and I don't think it does. But like at the end, I was
ugh.
like hyperventilating, sobbing, like I could barely breathe. I was sobbing so hard,
And it
and
does
it was
end
just,
on such a beautiful, beautiful moment, right?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean that it's a movie long mystery. When that is solved, it just that alone would get me sobbing. But like the way it's all presented and tied up in a bow,
yeah,
so to speak,
yeah.
I was a mess. I
I
mean, and the credits stopped, and I was just still sitting there staring at the Christmas tree, like,
I know you were texting me
um,
going, I'm a mess.
because it's
Yeah,
just. But you know what? It's for me. It's good to see movies like this because it reminds you about feeling human. Like,
yes,
the emotions are real.
yes,
Um, and we talk Oscar all the time, but I actually think Sadie Sink might be
yeah.
looking at a supporting actress nomination.
She was,
Um,
yeah, I mean, she's very complicated character, right? The daughter.
mhm.
And she kind of comes off a little
And
bit like she does in Stranger Things, a little bit tough like that. She's clearly got that kind of personality niche in the bag there. But what she ends up doing with the character though, it's just she really did a great job.
well, we don't get that ending without her.
No, no,
And
no.
his BFF too, Hung Chow. I hope I'm saying that
Oh,
right.
I love her.
I see her getting nominated too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she was also great in the menu too. So she's had a good year.
Mhm.
Some great little juicy parts for her. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's unfortunately a film that I probably can't watch again. Only because it took a lot out of me. It took a lot out of me. Watching someone struggle like that is it's just hard to watch. You know what I know I've said about 4,000 times, but it is. And so like I've told a few people you should see this, but it's devastating. You're like, why do I want to watch a movie that's going to devastate me? Well, because sometimes you
Those are
should,
tears of hope.
yeah, yeah, exactly. 5 stars for me on this one. You?
5.5.
Yeah. We can go ahead, go above that. Yeah. Yeah. It was quite something. And like I said, if Brendan Fraser doesn't win, I don't know what, but he's going to. There's no question. And this year's been some really it's a pretty good year for for best actors. Sometimes it's not such a good year. Like this year it's better for best actor than it is for actress. Last
Yeah.
couple of years I feel like it's been better for actresses than actors, but this year it's definitely the actor category is some really brilliant performances. Colin Farrell in Banshees of Inisherin,
Mhm.
Austin Butler for Elvis, but there's no way he can't. There's no way Brendan Fraser can't win in this one. Nope.
And the
Nope.
thing is, I feel like, that classic phrase, in any other
Yes.
year, Colin Farrell would win. In any other
Yes.
year, Austin Butler would win.
Yep.
I mean, and it's so rare that we've got, three
Yep.
that I can count right now that does 100% deserve it.
Yep. I know.
But
Isn't
it's
that
going to be
sad?
hard. It's going to be hard to beat Brendan.
It's yeah. It's just yeah. So, we say to you out there, if you want to watch a film that is devastating, but at the same time very heartening and very filled with hope, then definitely you need to check The Whale out because it's quite a character study in a most brilliant way. So definitely check it
Mhm.
out. All right. So the last one we're talking about, I didn't get a chance to see, but you did. Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. What is this? The third one of the Puss in Boots? Third or fourth? Third?
It's a second. I mean,
Oh,
it's the
I
fourth
thought there
time
was.
he's appeared because he's in the Shrek movies, but he got his own movie,
Oh,
and then it's been a number of years.
oh, I thought
But
there
I
was
will
one in
say this: it's
between.
worth the wait.
I thought it was in between. There was one more.
This
Okay.
is
This was the second one. Okay, so Puss in Boots discovers that his passion for adventure has taken its toll. He has burned through the 8 of his 9 lives. Puss sets out on an epic journey to find the mythical last wish and restore his 9 lives. Of course, Antonio Banderas is back as Puss in Boots. We also have Selma Hayek as Kitty Softpaws. We have Florence Pugh's in it. Goldilocks, John Mulaney. Oh, it's a pretty good
all the voice casts out of this
all the
world.
voice cast. Olivia Colman, Ray Winstone. That's cool. Okay, so you liked this, yes?
Yeah, yeah, the voice cast is top notch. I mean, Antonio Banderas is the character. I mean, my goodness. I mean, for like,
I
well,
am Puss. I am Puss.
still, my daughter is like the legend of Puss in Boots, and just walk around the house like that. Like we've already seen it 3 times. Again, the ultimate thing. But like, Olivia Colman goes full like Cockney English accent as the Mama Bear, and like Florence Pugh is amazing as Goldilocks. She's like the hood Goldilocks, and John Mulaney just has a blast as Jack Horner, the real villain of this film. Yeah, and it's so much fun, and that's just as a movie. Like forget that it's part of a franchise. Forget that it's a sequel. Forget any. It's just a good movie. And I definitely give it 4 stars. It's just
Oh,
fun. I mean, you don't even have to like the Shrek movies. I think this stands alone. It's just a really good, fun movie.
well, I like the first one too because yeah, Antonio Banderas is fantastic. Now this is it's gonna open theaters, but it's also gonna stream on Disney Plus.
They say no, but I think they're trying to get that
Oh,
holiday weekend theater cash. But I would not be surprised if this quickly makes its way over.
okay,
Um,
we'll see it on there. Okay,
yeah, just
cool.
streaming somewhere. Well, maybe Peacock because it's
Oh,
Universal.
it's not Disney. Oh, you're right. I
Mm.
don't know. I always thought Shrek was. You're right. Oh, DreamWorks.
And
So yeah.
they're yeah, they're really quick with sending stuff over to Peacock. So
Right.
I suspect it'll be over there soon.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds good. So I believe there are a few more films to review before the end of the year. We have if we get a chance to see them next week, we'll try to. But A Man Called Otto, which is Tom Hanks's latest. And oh shoot, there was one more. Oh, well actually that's already out. Emancipation, the Will Smith movie. Isn't that on Apple?
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you watch it?
no,
Yeah. I don't know if I really want to or not.
sorry,
Suppose we
no.
should. It is our job. Um, but it definitely looks heart-wrenching as well. But that should really do it. So we'll try to do one last year-end sort of review, and then maybe the first week of January we'll do a what to look forward to in 2023. That's
Sounds like
always a
fun.
fun one to do, right?
Yeah,
So if we don't have another one next week, we want to wish everyone a happy holidays. And Joel, thank you again for
of
all
course.
your great input all this past year. It's hasn't been a great one, I don't think. I'm looking
Mm-mm.
forward to the movies getting better and better now that we've gotten past the pandemic years. But
Mm-mm.
thank you again, and everyone have a safe holiday season. Bye bye.
Yes.